I'm a talentless developer who's been dreaming of creating his own mobile application for as long as I can remember. Now, unlike all these freaking Einsteins online picking up a language in 7 days, history shows I'm more the type of guy who at day 9 is still banging his head on Udemy lesson 8, often making it an absolute nightmare to learn a new programming language. So when I stumbled upon Flutter, and thereby making it possible to develop in one language for both Android and Apple devices, it was pretty much like Sydney Sweeney, a godsend gift from heaven. So it was obvious I needed to learn Flutter. But considering I work a normal 9 to 5, I need to do it fast. Like those freaking Einsteins online. So I decided if they can do it, I can at least try. And thus we're going to find out if I can overcome my past failures, learn Flutter in only 7 days, and deliver an actual working mobile application. As an absolute talentless developer. And that's not all. In this process, I learned these crucial lessons to learn a new programming language, which will make sure you don't end up in tutorial hell like I always did, and speed up your progression by a huge amount. But first, let me give you a little background information for me to be completely transparent, since there's no bullshit allowed on this channel. Here's a very quick overview of my coding experience until now. I started my self-taught software development journey 1.5 years ago with CS50. At approximately the same time, I miraculously landed a job as a junior cloud developer where I've been working since. I then tried to learn C# through Tim Corey's masterclass course, which took me freaking months. And after finally having a little basic C# knowledge, I started learning web development. And since January 2024, I've been trying to learn the Angular framework, which is, as they call it, a work in progress. So while I understand the fundamentals of coding and have experience in multiple areas, I need to be clear. I've not mastered any language yet, and aside from a few attempts in the past that barely deserve mentioning, I have no experience with Flutter at all. So 5 years ago, I also wanted to build a mobile application. A dream I've had for a very long time, as you know. But I got as far as running the emulator and printing Hello World on the screen. But then I guess I just gave up and utterly failed. And that cycle actually repeated itself a couple of times. So at this point, me trying to learn mobile development feels like Jiraiya trying not to perf over Tsunade's wreck. Pretty much impossible. And especially since I now also have a programming job, making time even more scarce and meaning I'm already spending 8 hours a day staring at a screen. But I must admit that this time did feel a little bit different, because I felt just so much more determined to learn Flutter than in every previous attempt I did before. It's the 12th of June and today I'm going to start Learn Flutter in 7-day challenge. I'm excited, I'm nervous. Okay, you have to trust me. I haven't done any research, but I did make these 3 steps. So since time is of the essence in this challenge, I thought I needed a starting plan. So I tried my best to think of the best and most efficient steps to take at the beginning of this journey. So first I decided to watch 3 people who have learned Flutter, to get some context, maybe learn from their experiences and avoid their mistakes. Only 3. Not more and not less. Next, as with any programming language, I knew I needed to set up the programming environment, which seemed like a logical step to get it working on my own machine. Once that was all said and done, I thought it was a good idea to watch one tutorial on Flutter basics. And yes, I deliberately put down just one video to avoid falling into tutorial hell or me spending endless and endless hours scrolling on YouTube. First things first, we're going to watch 3 people who've done it and hopefully learn something from it. Right now is the start of the Learn Flutter in 7-day challenge. So with exploding nerves and energy, I started by watching the 3 videos, which immediately provided context and videos I could follow for the Flutter setup and basics tutorial in step 2 and 3. I then went into the setup video, of course at 1.25 speed, where my excitement quickly turned to annoyance as the first errors began to appear. Fortunately, Stack Overflow exists, and from my job, I know that dealing with errors is as inevitable as getting a chat ban in League of Legends. It's just part of the job. Oh my god. Even the first step. Like, what the fuck? Did it! Look. Bro, I have a phone on my computer. If that doesn't get pussy, I don't know what gets. The emulator is working off the phone, which is great. And now I need to make a project, I think, or something. Still doing the setup. So with the help of the basic tutorial and the Udemy course I still had from all my previous attempts to learn Flutter, I completed the setup and successfully launched my first app. We did the first app launch! Wow! You have to push the button. Oh my god. Then I had to go to work, came back and finished watching the basic Flutter tutorial, officially ending day 1 with everything going pretty smoothly. However, after such a quick and successful start, I hit a wall, because I had only planned up to this point. And immediately the devil started whispering to me, "Bro, start the Udemy Flutter course." But just looking at the hours of lessons, I knew I needed to avoid this at all costs. So I decided to do some research and I stumbled upon this amazing video on this awesome channel. And after watching it, I immediately decided that this guy would be my master Uguay during this challenge. And in the video, he literally gave me an exact roadmap to follow to move forward, combined with an awesome new concept that sounds so simple and logical, yet I had never heard of it before and it blew my mind. But before we get to that, the actual first practical step he suggested was to do 50 programming exercises. And that is because they would give me small wins, making it fun, which is important for you to continue. And because the exercises focus on small concepts, it keeps my brain from getting overwhelmed by all the new information. So I followed Master Uguay's advice. I searched for beginner problems, found another great channel and spent the rest of day 2 doing the exercises. And to be honest, doing all these short exercises did exactly as what was promised. They provided small manageable steps and gave me those small wins. I was genuinely excited for each problem because they struck the perfect balance between being too easy and too hard. So when you start with exercises. So I was on a roll. I just decided I'm going to do all these exercises, get more familiar with the language because I find it a really ugly language. Maybe I'm the only one, but it's like widgets in widgets in widgets in widgets and very hard to read. So this was one exercise, just putting pictures there. It's crazy how proud I am of just this. But it keeps it fun. I am still a little bit panicked about the time. It's day 2 and I'm doing pictures. And I feel like I need to move faster, but my brain, it's hard to concentrate for such a long time. Basically these days I'm staring at a screen for 12 hours a day. But to be honest, things were going pretty well. But then day 3 came. Oh man. So I just found out that the channel that I was following for these great exercises, he only made 5. And I thought there would be like 20 or maybe even 30. I don't know why, but now I'm again stuck, not knowing what to do. So, as you can tell, it only has 5 exercises. So It was so frustrating to fall back into the pit of not knowing what to do next. And this time I was really lost. So the Udemy course started whispering in my ear again, and just before I was about to give in, I remembered the crucial concept from Master Uguay. Which brings me to the second crucial lesson I learned. It felt way too early to start building the quiz app that I had in mind for this challenge, as it was only day 3 and it felt like I'd done all. But then I was introduced in question-driven development combined with a plan. This meant I could make an MVP for the quiz app I had in mind, which means designing the app with only focusing on the essential features. Then I would use the question-driven development concept to break these features down in questions until I had a list of small and concrete questions that actually felt able to do. And when you got that list, you use Google to get the answers. So I just went with that plan because I knew it was at least better than tutorial hell and I only had 3.5 days left. Not looking forward to it, to be honest. A lot of other things I'd rather be doing on my weekend than dive in some more code. But yeah, let's do some planning and we'll continue. So I designed the MVP, then made the MVP my end goal and broke it down with question-driven development. And regarding the application, my idea was to create a quiz app to play with your friends, where the app shows you a question, you ask the question to your friend, and if they answer correctly, they get a point, and you keep doing this until someone reaches a winning score. Additionally, I wanted the app to have user authentication and the ability to add your own custom questions. And of course, the questions should be in a random order. And the result for me were 3 focused questions. 1. How can you implement user authentication in Flutter? 2. How can I save quiz questions in a database and also retrieve them? And the last one, how can I display a page with a question and make it swipeable? So at the end of the day, day 3 felt pretty hectic, but that was nothing compared to day 4. I just finished the authentication part, so The anticipation is through the roof. Come on. I have no idea where it would go wrong. Oh. Fuck me, dog. Oh, man. Okay, attempt 2. Here we go. It isn't doing all. What the is this, man? Oh, Lord. Look. So you get the point. It was a roller coaster of emotions, but I finally got the user authentication part working. And at this point, I realized lesson 3, which significantly sped up my progress by simply not wasting time. And this one also came from Master Oogway. And the key was to write down tangible steps or actions to follow. And question-driven development sort of forces you to do this, but I mean literally write down your actions on a piece of paper or a to-do list. This ensures you don't start working on the wrong stuff, get lost on YouTube, and just keeps you focused. Plus, completing an item gives you that dopamine hit that keeps the process fun. And just following these 3 lessons from Master Oogway already made this whole journey smoother than any other language or technology I've tried to learn before. And don't worry, I still encountered errors and failures. Probably isn't the most entertaining content, but oh, me. Oh, man. No. But compared to my experience learning C#, I was making progress faster than Rock Lee. And actually got saving questions in the database working. How are you? Did I do it? Yeah! I do think that finishes day 4. Because I'm fried, my brain is done. I've only been coding. Oh man, I'm a bit tired. I think some rest also is better. Then I can start fresh tomorrow, but today was a huge day. Although I am nervous about the time, because today is day 4. Only have 3 days left. And I need to build a freaking app. It's on its way, but man. So I went to bed and spent the next day just working through my to-do list. And this was really good because time was slipping away in my hands and I really wanted to deliver at least something working on day 7. And of course, exactly these days, my sprint at my job was one of the busiest I ever had. I got a good idea now what I want the app to be. That's great, so I know what to do. It takes time and time is really scarce, so... But of course I tried to work on it as much as possible. And on this day I started to notice something. I did make a lot of progress just right now, which is pretty cool, man. I don't know if I have the hang of it, but I'm beginning to get the hang of it. The main idea is coming very close to being finished, at least the functionalities that I hoped for. And of course you can always break out of it and improve and make it better, but the MVP is sort of there, which I'm so surprised I even came this far. I've never ever learned a programming language this fast. And yes, I use Firebase, which makes it a lot easier, but it is kind of cool that it's going so fast. And maybe relatively fast is a better term because I did spend endless hours coding. And thinking back, in some of those moments it was pretty rough and hard to find motivation to get behind my laptop. Which brings me to the final lesson that helped me endure the endless hours of coding. 1. Pick something small to build. Learn to walk before you start running. And 2. Build something you're genuinely excited about. It could be an amazing idea you had, or for example software that you actually plan to use yourself. That will definitely help you get through it. So as my time in this challenge was running out, I felt that creating a working functional app and crushing this challenge was actually within grasp. And thus I knew I had to give it my all for one last day and code my freaking ass off. Until, and I don't even believe it myself, I actually finished the MVP I was aiming for. And just thinking that I accomplished this in only 7 days is literally mind-blowing to me. It was something I set as a goal, but I never imagined actually achieving it. And please don't judge the user interface. I know it's awful, but it's all about the functionality. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present to you the newest hit on the App Store, the Quiz app. Okay, so we got the home screen, right? We can like the button, awesome stuff. We got 2 options, start quiz and add questions. That's it. We can see our user over here. Okay, let's go to the questions. So here you can add your own questions for the quiz or the game you want to play, whatever you call it. So let's say 10 plus 10, 20. We add the question, it resets. And of course adds it to the database, so when you play the quiz, you of course can get your own question. And now we can start the app. And as you see, wow, it's fantastic. Look, it asks you to enter player names, and notice that if I turn the screen the other way around, it adjusts itself. It's Jack, and the second player, it's my name, alright? We press OK. Now we're in the quiz mode. So it's a turn of Jack. So the idea is that I now get the phone. So I ask Jack, what's 2 plus 2? He answers 3 because Jack is a retard. So I say incorrect. And as you see right there, it keeps the score. Great question. What's the best YouTube channel? It's of course my channel. Subscribe. Oh man. I've spent a whole week on this, so please give me some credit. And without boring you too much, you could also register yourself, log in, log out, and every time the questions were displayed, it would be in a complete random order. And after I fixed one final issue that you just don't think about as a programmer, when you pressed correct or incorrect, it immediately went to the next page. But of course you need some time to hand over your phone, because otherwise you see the answer immediately. So you press correct, and it takes 2 seconds. You have some time to hand over the phone. Oh, that was a quick demo of the app. I need to lay down before I recap on this whole journey, because it was a pretty intense journey. And that concludes the 7-day Flutter challenge. And to answer the question we started with, can you learn Flutter in 7 days? I would say no, because there's still so many things left to discover and learn, such as state management, publishing your apps, architecture principles, just to name a few. However, I honestly believe that when you apply these 4 lessons, you can come a pretty damn far way. It's a few days after the challenge, and I'm just happy about the journey. That's mainly the thing. I just didn't think I'd come this far, and it feels pretty insane. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and can't wait to dive deeper into Flutter and maybe actually build my own application. My first own mobile application that, oh baby, that would be fucking amazing. But until now, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I see you all in the next one. Peace. Wait a second, don't click away yet. This is me editing and I totally forgot, but if you like this video, you probably will like this video too. Peace.